There's a saying that you only know how unhealthy you are when you start getting healthy. I don't even care anymore about anybody's feelings. I have been doing carnivore now for a little over 4 months. A couple of times I slipped up just to see if carnivore was right for me. Maybe that sounds like an excuse, but that's just the way my personality is. Sometimes I have to fall a few times before I get it. I just want to bring up that a few of those times that I fell off, I was doing carnivore, maybe not to the extreme of like Lion's diet, but I was eating all animal products, whether it was some raw milk, raw cheese, eggs, canned sardines, which, yes, they have olive oil in it. I understand that's not 100% carnivore, but I eliminated a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of carbohydrates, breads, sugars, processed sugars, and every single day I was consuming animal products. So I consider myself animal-based. Call it what it is. Who cares about the titles? Honestly, I don't want to be dogmatic like I was when I was vegan. I just want to listen to my body and remember my experiences when I did fall off the diet. So when I did fall off the diet those few times, I've experienced things that I used to experience when I was doing drugs and alcohol. Because if you don't know, or if you haven't been following me, I was in rehab in 2016 for mostly prescription drugs. I'm not going to go into it so much, but there was anxiety that came from doing these drugs that I felt when I included carbohydrates, sugars, and processed foods back in my diet. Not necessarily vegetables or fruits, which I wasn't doing a lot. I did some watermelon here and there, but it was those things in particular that made me feel like a high level of anxiety and withdrawals and depression, and everything else came flooding back in as soon as I incorporated those things back in my diet. So that's what happened. I started getting healthier by eating the way that I was eating, and then when I included other things, I started feeling those things that I considered to be normal at some point, but they're totally not normal. It's not normal to feel anxiety, anger, fear. A lot of that stems from the foods that I was eating, the toxins in the food that was affecting my emotional well-being, my physical and my mental. One reason that I know this diet is really beneficial, besides the fact that I'm experiencing this, what some of you guys would call pseudoscience, and you know who you are out there. I'm not talking to the people that actually understand the carnivore diet or experienced it firsthand and seen the miracles and the benefits from doing carnivore. I'm talking about everybody that believes the lamestream media that heart disease is caused by high cholesterol, that high cholesterol is caused by eating red meats, eating eggs, eating animal products, and you should include more grains, more vegetables, more plant foods, more of that food that actually doesn't align with us as a human species. We, for millions of years, it's all we ate was animal products. And in most places in the world, before we had agriculture, I mean, if you think about places like in desert areas, all they had was like these big animals roaming, bison, rattlesnake. Sometimes it wouldn't rain for months. So where would you get your plants from? And how do we come this far eating plants when there was a period in our evolution called the Ice Age where nothing really grew to the point that we could survive from? So the fact that we're still here is a testament that animal products are actually how we have come this far and how we survived all those dark times. That just should be obvious to the average individual. That should be something that you don't even question. I mean, before they had airplanes and boats, How did we get avocados from Mexico and tomatoes from New Jersey and this big, eat the rainbow BS that they promote nowadays instead of eating meats? Because when the heck did our government actually care about us? Why would a doctor actually care to make us healthy if we continue to fill their pockets and pay for their fancy vacations to Saint-Tropez, pay for their Mercedes-Benz, pay for their wife's plastic surgery? The point is that they don't want us healthy. Nowadays, it's kind of easy to see what you should be doing just by following mainstream media, or as I like to call them, and a lot of people like to call it the lamestream media, the corporate media, because they don't care about you and about me. They care about the corporations. They care about the government. Try to tell you how to think. They don't want to tell you how to be healthy and what you have to do to live a very long and thriving life and have a good relationship. They don't tell you anything about that. They just create problems and then tell you how to think through those problems. If you don't see that yet, I really hope that one day you wake up from this matrix that some people call it. If you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, maybe you should check it out. That might be your red pill moment. But there's been so many red pill moments in the last few years, especially in 2020, when mainstream media was all forcing us to get the jab, that now everybody is kind of walking back from and saying that, okay, maybe we were wrong. Maybe, not maybe you were wrong, you were wrong. A lot of people died. And a lot of people died from the consequences of shutting down small businesses, locking us up in our houses, taking kids away from their schools, making you wear a mask outdoors, keeping you from your grandmother that only had maybe a few years left. You didn't get to say goodbye to her because lamestream media was telling you that you need to do this and this and this to be healthy. And it all turns out that the difference between a conspiracy and facts is just a couple of months. In this case, it was a couple of years. It was so easy to just Google or just to see that everything that they were saying was a complete lie. Herd immunization, getting the jab was going to be healthier for you than actually contracting something. So my point here is that if you want to know the truth, just do the opposite of what they tell you to do. It's really that simple. If it's raining outside and they tell you to have an umbrella ready, you know what? Go to the beach, okay? Because I don't even trust the weather anymore until I go outside and I see it for myself. To get back on topic, some of the things that I've experienced on carnivore, for me, being a 40-year-old man, I'm not old, but I'm not young anymore, in my teens or my 20s, in my 30s, obviously. And I was on a vegan diet for a long time, which I'm pretty sure messed up my hormone levels, my testosterone. Because I remember, I was in a lot of pain, I had inflammation, I had depression, I had mood swings, just a few things on the list. I didn't really work out at that time. I started working out again when I started incorporating animal proteins back in my diet, because contrary to what they say, plant protein is not as bioavailable for you as animal proteins. Animal proteins, you're able to convert it into building blocks for your body, for your muscles, quicker than you could plant protein. I don't care what you say. I don't care what science you throw at me. When you say follow the science, all I hear is follow the money. Because when doctors and real scientists that are out there, Chafee, Baker, Saladino at one point, when they're being silenced because their opinion doesn't align with the mainstream opinion, there's no follow the science anymore. It's follow the money, point blank. It's really disappointing and angering, but at the same time, it gives you a roadmap to what you really should be doing in life. I should almost thank lamestream media for pointing that out to me and for telling me how to think so that I can think the opposite. Don't be upset that I'm giving you this information. Don't defend the system. The system doesn't care about you. Give me one example that tells me that they care about you. Global crisis, climate change, But somehow these billionaires are still buying properties on coasts, buying big houses, buying yachts, traveling in their private jets. So it's not a race thing, it's a class thing. If you're not rich, you're poor or whatever, I am, okay? I mean, I'm not rich. You have to break down what they're telling you and try to see it from a point of view as, does this benefit them or does this benefit you? And 99.9% of the time, maybe 100% of the time, it's benefiting them. When they say democracy and we and that, whatever, they're talking about a certain class. They're talking about the rich. They're talking about the people in power. They're talking about the elites. They're not talking about you or about me. So you have to be able to discern that. And just to go back to what carnivore has done for me, like, it has literally boosted my testosterone. It has improved my workouts at the gym. I've gotten a lot stronger. I've gotten a lot mentally stable, more in control of my emotion. I'm not perfect, but I'm definitely 100 times better than where I was. That's this video. I wanted to see where you guys align with me on these things. Who's with me on this? If you want to support this channel, subscribe to it. I respond to every single comment, positive or negative. I know this was a little bit of an unhinged video, but that's just who I am. I'm not gonna be on here trying to be like all cookie cutter and perfect. It really angers me that people that I love question what I'm doing now because I'm eating meat, but they didn't question me when I was eating fake burgers. Everything was cool and fine when I was eating like plants and I wasn't eating any meat. But now that I'm eating only strictly 99% of my diet is coming from animal proteins, everybody has a problem with that because lamestream media tells them to. I'll catch you guys in the next one. God bless you and peace out.